Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit the ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Greetings everybody guys, let's take a look again on the euro currency. So as we have suggested that although market technically was looking really anemic, so nothing really interesting has been formed recently in the beginning of the session, later in the end of the day on the United States session, the external driving factors, Jerome Powell comments have pushed market a bit higher, but mostly the things that he has said was in agreement in agreement with the overall expectation of the market. So nothing really new has been said. Investors just have got the assurance that the rate will be cut. So because Powell said that Fed Reserve will act according to the expectations. So, but still. There's some uncertainty exists because he said nothing about the further perspective. So everything is clear with the July meeting and rate cut, but nothing is clear with the next step of the Fed Reserve. Because although Powell talked a lot about clouding of the uncertainty around the United States economy and global uncertainty on the negotiations with China concerning the tariffs, muted inflation, but he also talked about the good United States economy performance. And although investors now stand in euphoria of the coming rate cut, but as you know, we regular in our updates and our weekly reports talked about some mismatch between the rate cut currently and the overall situation in the United States economy. We also do not exclude the chance that could be some compromise. So because to not cut the rate right now, it will be a really big upset for the markets and could lead to undesirable volatility in the market. As you know, the Fed tends to try to avoid any extreme volatility on the market and do everything what possible to calm down the markets and act accordingly. But and that could be the step in a compromise. But later, maybe Fed already sees that some changes are coming in the United States economy, maybe better performance, maybe they also know some political steps that will be taken in the nearest future. So we do not know, but it's naive to suggest that we stand in the same information environment. Of course, Fed knows much more compared to us, and maybe they see something, and one step rate cut will not be some really significant for economy, especially if this will not lead to the dovish cycle of the consequence of the rate cutting. So that's the first moment. In two words speaking, in the tactical and the short-term perspective, Powell was dovish. But in the far-going perspective, mostly he was positive, and these dovishness are not really spread over the further perspective. Second, in the Fed minutes that have been released yesterday, it's also members of the Open Market Committee expressed some warnings on the economy perspective, and they also suggested some more stimulation measures, stimulation steps could be needed in the nearest future. That also this also encouraged the investors expecting some more soft, more dovish policy from the Fed in the nearest future. But we will see what will happen. Overall reaction on the market, as you can see, is not really very strong, mostly because it was anticipated that this should happen, and you can see the bounce from the support area that they have specified. Well, currently on the daily chart in euro, we still do not have any patterns. Something really interesting. Market still stands, trend still stands bearish here by the MACD indicator. We see some just minor tactical bounce up from the support. On the intraday charts, you could see the market hits the resistance. So 1276 is the confluence on the 4-hour time frame chart. It's also weekly pivot point. And in nearest nearest time, we could keep an eye on the possible pullback here. If market will form here any bullish patterns, for example, maybe godless triple to buy will be formed, it will be possible for taking the long position with some tactical extension. Kind of the large ABCD pattern maybe will be formed, something of that sort. This is the thing that we will keep an eye on the euro currency, because actually on the hourly chart, the level that market could reach in the nearest futures 1240, 1246. It's kind of the confidence support. Why I think that this really could happen, but because of them, just in the parallel analysis of the Great British Pound. So if you take a look at the hourly chart, you can see very strong downward action, and here market is forming kind of the hand shoulders. So it suggests some retracement here. And that's why I would suggest that on the euro currency also could be some pullback. Unfortunately, we do not have the clear shape of the hand shoulders as on the Great British Pound here, but that could be some different pattern. For example, it could be, as I said, godless triple to buy, which we also could use for taking tactical long position. So currently we wouldn't speak about some really long-term trades, some big performance of the big trends. We are mostly focused on the tactical step, because everybody will wait for gross domestic product release within the 2 weeks and the Fed statement, what they will say on the further perspective of the rate cut. So because currently everybody will not take into consideration the effect of the rate cutting, but everybody will be focused on what Fed will say on this meeting on the perspective of further rate cuts. That will be the primary information that everybody will wait for. That's why any trade here probably will be tactical. Market hardly will show the significant trend within this 2 weeks until the meeting. So that's our position on the euro.